I just had my first medical experience in China, so I haven't been feeling well, and I'm just so impressed with the medical care here. I called today, got an appointment today. I went, I didn't even sit down, and they brought me right back and took my vitals, and doctor was quick and efficient.
Let's talk about healthcare in the US. I'm in China right now. I broke my Achilles and I've been going to the orthopedics for the last month. And the healthcare system in China is insanely good. It shits on the US.
Hello from Shanghai. So as an American living in China, one of the most interesting things to see is the way that dental care and healthcare is done in China. For example, I just went to the dentist for the first time and it was a great experience actually. I have a condition called gum recession, which is basically gaps between your teeth and your gums. I had this since I was a teenager, since I had my braces. Every single dentist that I went to in the United States always recommended that I get gum grafts, which is a fairly invasive procedure where they take extra gum and sort of implant it on top of your gaps to cover them up. It's very, very expensive. It can run between like 20 and 50,000 US dollars.
Guys, I've had fever for 2 days and have to go to hospital today. Many of you asked me about the healthcare system in China, and I guess today I can be your tour guide. So here we can go to any big hospitals without reservation or clinic reference letter. To see a doctor, I only need to scan my medical QR code and pay a consultation fee of $1.
I just got the bill for my daughter's NICU stay. Do you guys want to know how much it is? Do you want to converse, have a conversation about the price? $738,360 freaking dollars.
Here's how fucked up the American healthcare system is. I got hit with a fucking hammer today. I swear to God. Okay? Quick story. I was injured at work helping out a patient, okay? And I had to get surgery. So that surgery consisted of me having 6 months off of work. Yeah, a very long time. So I'm not blaming my work for this, what I'm about to tell you. I'm just blaming the fucking system.
Hey, besties. So imagine this, you give birth to your beautiful baby girl, and instead of being showered with flowers and balloons, you're hit with a medical bill for $738,360. That's not a typo. That's real life in America. Now, what if I told you in China, you could walk into a hospital, see a doctor, and pay just $1? No insurance drama, no appointment, no emotional damage. I know, right? So today, we're diving into the jaw-dropping contrast between American and Chinese healthcare. It's not just different, it's absolutely infuriating. From TikTok horror stories to affordable treatment in China that's making even Americans consider flying overseas for a checkup, this is the real tea. Let's break it down in 5 loaded segments. Buckle up, this one's gonna hurt.
Guys, I've had fever for 2 days and have to go to hospital today. Many of you asked me about the healthcare system in China, and I guess today I can be your tour guide. So here we can go to any big hospitals without reservation or clinic reference letter. To see a doctor, I only need to scan my medical QR code and pay a consultation fee of $1. My doctor suggested me to do a blood test. Altogether, 9 tests cost $36 before insurance and only $9 after insurance. Once the blood test was done, wait for half an hour, I could then get the test result from printing machine. Luckily, it's not flu, so after getting some medicines, I can go home and rest.
I just got the bill for my daughter's NICU stay. Do you guys want to know how much it is? Do you want to converse, have a conversation about the price? $738,360 freaking dollars. Almost $1 million. And then I decided to take a look through the itemized bill because they sent every single little thing that they charged for. And I swear there's things that they didn't do. And I swear there's things that they're overcharging for. For example, I noticed on the bill that there is a little tiny tube of Aquaphor that they gave me that I actually still have. $25. $25 for a tiny tube of Aquaphor that I thought the nurse was just giving me to be cute and give it for free. No, ma'am. They made sure to charge every single little thing. Damn, like that is crazy.
Let's start with what sparked this outrage. An American mom went viral on TikTok after revealing her hospital charged her $738,360 just for giving birth. Yes, just to deliver a child. Her video shows line items that read like a robbery. $60,000 for a delivery room, $3,000 for 4 fluids, $500 for pain meds. And here's the kicker, she had insurance. But as always, insurance covered part of it, and she was stuck with a life-altering bill. And this isn't a one-off. Medical debt is the #1 reason for bankruptcy in the US, affecting over 100 million people. Welcome to healthcare American style.
I'm pissed. I'm pissed right now. The American healthcare system can eat my whole ass. I'm gonna cuss a lot in this video. I'm furious right now, all right? I just turned 26, got kicked off my parents' health insurance, which is fine. I guess that's a rule for some fucking reason. I went and was responsible. I went and got health insurance. I paid $230 a month for it. Here's the thing. That's after I cut like half of the fucking coverages that I didn't need. It was originally $500. So it's $230 a month. I go on the portal. I'm looking for a new neurologist. If I don't get my meds, my brain will implode once a week. Okay, that's how it works. So I'm looking for a new neurologist. I find one on the portal. I go to the neurologist, and by the time I'm there, they're like, hey, we don't take your health insurance. I found you on the portal. Are you kidding me? How does that even make sense? That doesn't even make any goddamn sense. What the hell is going on? I swear to God, the American government just wants their citizens to just suffer. This should be free. None of this should be an issue. Why do I have to go to a private company to get health insurance? And then I still pay a copay. I pay $60 to get seen by a doctor. I'm already paying $250 a month. Are you fucking kidding me? That's insane. This should be free. There are first world countries that have already figured this out. Canada, the UK, Japan, Italy, so many other countries on the list. Why are we still dealing with this? It is the dumbest fucking thing in the world. And here's the thing. I think I'm a pretty fine citizen. You know what I mean? I work, I have a full-time job, I vote, I eat ass, I do everything right. And then you just go over here and you're like, nah, man, you gotta pay $250 to not get any coverage whatsoever. What the hell is going on? Ugh. Anyways, I work at a sandwich shop today. I'm not making any sandwiches with love. I'm making them with rage.
The American healthcare system needs to get the fuck out of here, okay? This is crazy. I just asked for an itemized bill of earlier this month where I was dying and I needed to be hospitalized for 3 days. Bitch, the total of that 3-day service was $83,334.33. For what? For what? Oh my God. And I'm wondering if I get a degree with this service. Or walking down an aisle for surviving. You must be out your mind. This is the price of an Ivy League program. Not only was I dysfunctional during half of this stuff, I also didn't ask for half this stuff. Blood must cure cancer with how much they charge me for blood work. You gotta be $6,000. It sounds like I need to be reimbursed for all the stuff y'all took out of my body. Here's the fun part. $10,296. Do you know what that's for? That is for the HB room board semi-private med bed. Who the hell asked for that? I just need my airways open. Mind you, I got back problems. I really got back problems for 3 days in that bed. So make it make sense. My albuterol at home costs like $30. Apparently, in a hospital, it's like $462. I just needed help to open my airways. You would have thought I left with a baby. So moral of the story, it's better to ride it out and talk to Jesus. Because if it's your time to go, it's your time to go. If it's your time to stay, then he's going to make a way.
I just had my first medical experience in China, so I haven't been feeling well, and I'm just so impressed with the medical care here. I called today, got an appointment today. I went. I didn't even sit down, and they brought me right back and took my vitals, and doctor was quick and efficient, and they were really friendly, and they spoke English. And what was really good is that the pharmaceuticals that I needed were right there at the hospital or the doctor's office. So in America, you have to wait weeks to get an appointment, and you sometimes can't find the medication you need. And I'm just so impressed. China, you are so efficient.
Now let's compare. In China, if you feel unwell, you don't need a referral. You walk into a hospital, pay 5 yen to 10 renminbi. That's about $1 to $1.50, and see a doctor. No insurance forms. No waiting for months. You pay a consultation fee up front, get examined, maybe get an x-ray for $20, and you're done. The system is largely publicly funded, and even private hospitals cost a fraction of what Americans pay. If needed, meds are handed to you right after the appointment from in-house pharmacies. No second pharmacy trip. And guess what? They've made this work for over 1.4 billion people.
Let's talk about healthcare in the US. I'm in China right now. I broke my Achilles and I've been going to the orthopedics for the last month. And the healthcare system in China is insanely good. It shits on the US. Let me just tell you a few points. An MRI in China is around $200, $300 US. I think in the US it's 10 times that price, if I'm not mistaken. I've been getting MRIs left and right. Yes, I have really good insurance, but I can pay out of pocket if I needed to. Another thing is, it's so efficient here. You get here, you're taken in. There's no waiting. In the US, you're filling out forms, you're waiting 30 minutes, right? In the doctor's office, there's no waiting here. I've been in 2 hospitals today for two different things. Seamless, easy as I get there. Then with WeChat, you can message the doctor directly. If I need to schedule an appointment, if I need to get a prescription, I just message them on WeChat. It's way more efficient than emailing, calling. It's even better than WhatsApp. It's just so seamless, the technology, and you can do everything through there directly with the hospital. And I'm gonna make a video on my takeaways from China, but generally things are more efficient, clean. Everything is just better than like most countries I've ever been to.
Hello from Shanghai. So as an American living in China, one of the most interesting things to see is the way that dental care and healthcare is done in China. For example, I just went to the dentist for the first time and it was a great experience actually. I have a condition called gum recession, which is basically gaps between your teeth and your gums. I've had this since I was a teenager, since I had my braces. Every single dentist that I went to in the United States always recommended that I get gum grafts, which is a fairly invasive procedure where they take extra gum and sort of implant it on top of your gaps to cover them up. It's very, very expensive. It can run between like 20 and 50,000 US dollars. And it's a fairly invasive procedure. And they said that, okay, you have to basically go every 8 to 10 years and redo it, and you absolutely have to do it. Every dentist in America has always recommended this to me. But when I went to the dentist here in China, I asked them about it, and they were like, why would you do that? It's totally not necessary. Are you in any pain? And I was like, no. I was like, do your gums bleed? No. And they were like, then why would you do that? It's not necessary. Just brush carefully and take care of your teeth. And I was like, oh, right. And it was this perfect example of how healthcare in the United States is always very invasive, and they want you to spend money on these really expensive drugs, these really expensive procedures, and that's just not the way it works in much of the rest of the developed world because they're not trying to turn a profit. The dentist was just like, you don't need it. And I was like, oh, I guess I don't. You're always told that you have to do these expensive procedures when you just genuinely don't, because it's not trying to scam you or make a profit on you. It's just trying to actually do what's best for your body. And this is very weird for me as an American to experience, and I'm always a little bit taken aback by it. But the way we do things in America is just bizarre and totally unnecessary in so many other instances. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have had this experience, so please let me know. I'm curious. Overall, the experience of going to the dentist in China was actually really great.
Hello.
Goodbye. Anyways, I have a proposition for you. If you have some health issues that you need heavy medical treatment for, but you don't have a good health insurance for coverage, and you know it's going to cost you a lot of money, probably tens of thousands of dollars or even more than that, a cheaper option for you that I suggest will be to get a ticket and go to China and get the treatment there and then come back. This entire process, including the flight ticket, the hospitalization, surgery, anesthesia, food, all the medication, would not cost you more than $3,000. I mean, it kind of varies depending on what exactly your situation is, but my point is it's going to be way cheaper than to do that in the US. The best part of that is you don't need a visa to go there. They have a 10-day visa-free stay policy, which means you can go there and stay there for 10 days without a visa. If you need more time for your treatment, you can probably extend that within China, so it will be convenient. A round-trip ticket right now costs about $800. You can find, economy class obviously, you can find pretty good deals on flychina.com. Flychina.com. Also, you don't need to worry about communication or connection with your friends or family here. AT&T has this international roam plan that will allow you to use your US phone number in China. So you'll be able to access all the apps, all the data you have. You can even use ChatGPT and all the translation tools you need. So it's gonna be pretty convenient and easy for you to travel through China too. So yeah, think about it. If you want to know more information, follow for more, or leave a comment. I will answer all the questions. Thank you.
Besties, social media isn't staying quiet. On TikTok and Chinese platforms like Xiaohongshu and Weibo, people are saying what we're all thinking. Just fly to China. For less than the cost of a broken arm in the US, you could fly to Beijing, see a doctor, get treated, and fly back with cash left over. Americans are now seriously looking into medical tourism to China. Think about it, a $1,200 round-trip flight, $100 in treatment costs, and a hotel for a few nights. Still cheaper than your ER copay. It sounds like satire, but it's reality.
Here's how fucked up the American healthcare system is. I got hit with a fucking hammer today. I swear to God. Okay? Quick story. I was injured at work helping out a patient, okay? And I had to get surgery. So that surgery consisted of me having 6 months off of work. Yeah, a very long time. So I'm not blaming my work for this, what I'm about to tell you. I'm just blaming the fucking system. So I get injured at work and file a workman's comp issue, whatever. They denied me. They said, oh no, we're not going to cover that. We're not going to pay you. And I'm like, fine, I'll sue you. So I get some really good attorneys and they said, they're being stupid and we're going to sue them and we're going to win. So I'm not worried about that. What I'm really upset about is the fact that today, because I have no more FMLA leave, okay, my insurance is now like taken off of work. And like they're not paying for it anymore, so I had to pay for it. It was $1,094 a month. I just spent $1,094 for a month of healthcare. What? And then if I don't spend $1,094, I will be losing my workman's comp battle because they'll say that I didn't do my follow-up appointments to get better to go to work. But how are you going to not pay me while I'm off of work and then expect me to come up with $1,094 a month? And if I don't come up with that, you're going to make me lose my battle and I'm not going to get shit. Okay? That's insanity. That is crazy. What kind of world are we living in? Who can afford that per month? I just spent that this month, but who knows what next month's going to be like. Like, there is no help or assistance. You're fucked when you're fucked here, okay? It's crazy.
I just got my hospital bill. I was in there for 3 days for a leg surgery, and I'm going to read you the itemized charge list. First, semi-private room and bed changes, $12,487. Changes for drugs and IV solutions, $2,222. Medical surgical supplies, $2,918. Clinical laboratory changes, $5,314. Operating room charges, $7,749. Anesthesia services, $2,157. Physical therapy, $874. I literally had no physical therapy. I had surgery and I walked with a nurse when I got out. And I was the one who said I wanted to walk on my own. I literally held some random nurse's arm. Emergency room services, $5,615. Recovery room services, $1,948. For a total of a whopping $41,288. Free that boy.
Let's talk about the middlemen, insurance companies. These corporations rake in billions every year while denying coverage for non-essential procedures like emergency surgeries or insulin. Some plans charge families up to $2,000 per month in premiums, with $10,000 plus deductibles. In contrast, China's insurance programs are government-backed. Basic coverage costs a few dollars a month and covers a wide range of services. There are tiers: urban workers, rural residents, but even the lowest tier provides actual protection. No one is left to die because they couldn't pay a premium.
Hey, insurance, I could tell that I'm going to be running out of insulin soon. Can I refill my prescription now? No, you're going to have to wait until you run out. Oh, great. I ran out. Hi, doctor. Can you please send my prescription to the pharmacy for my insulin? Sure. Hi, pharmacy. Is my prescription ready? We never received it from your doctor. That's messed up. I'm all out of insulin. Let me give them a call. Hi, doctor's office. Why didn't you send my prescription for insulin to the pharmacy? I'm all out. Oh, whoopsie daisy. Our app doesn't work. But we want you to fill your prescriptions through the app. Can you please send the prescription to the pharmacy? Yeah. Hi, pharmacy. Is my prescription ready? I'm sorry, but we don't have your insulin in stock. Then can you send it to a pharmacy that does have it in stock? Sure. That'll be $800. What? Hello, insurance? What's up? Why is my insulin $800? Because we don't like that insulin. That insulin sucks. It's too expensive, so we're not going to cover it anymore. You have to use different insulin. More cheap insulin. Insulin not good for your body. Well, if I do the insulin that you like, will you give me more than just a month's supply? No! Why would we do that? This is the doctor's office. We noticed you're losing weight. Are you more stressed than usual? Not as stressed as I normally am. Every month. Well, you should really get a hold of your stress levels. And we think that the reason why you have all these other problems other than the diabetes is either because of the diabetes or it's because you're stressed and you have anxiety. So we're not going to look further into anything else that this could possibly be. Okay, love you, bye.
I just had a full health checkup in China and it was crazy. I had like 9 tests done. It only took about 2.5 hours. So it starts with you go to this special ward that's dedicated to the health checkup, and each exam room is dedicated to a different test. And it's like clockwork. They're extremely efficient. The first thing that you do is, because you can't eat for 10 hours before the blood test, they do that first. I went into a room and then this lady pulls out a needle. She draws my blood. It's in a file. 2 minutes from the point that I go into the exam room to where they're saying on to the next thing. 2 minutes. Then I go on to the next thing and they have me take a pill which tests for H. pylori. You have to breathe into a tube after 20 minutes. So I do that, and I take the pill, and they're like, you already did your blood test, so now you can eat. And then after eating food, I go and they do a CT scan of my chest, where they're checking all my lungs and stuff. And then I go and they do a full physical exam where this guy like checks my thyroid and all my lymph nodes and everything. And then they take your weight and height, they check your nose, eyes, and ears. And then after that, you go in and get an EKG. So they put this thing that'll monitor your heart for the next 40 minutes. Then they do a ultrasound of your kidneys and your liver, and they just check for anything weird going on in there. At the end, you blow into the tube and they take the heart monitor thing off. The whole thing honestly took like 2.5 hours. It was crazy fast, and it's a really vulnerable thing to go to the doctor and not speak the language. They were professional about it, and they did their best to be patient with me and translate, and they made sure I knew what was going on before I actually got the tests. And then I'm actually going to get all my results on WeChat on my phone. And if there's any concerns with my blood work or anything, they'll just message me and say, hey, you need to follow up. So yeah, that's a health checkup in China.
This isn't just a US problem. It's a global reckoning. The American model, once seen as the gold standard, is now a cautionary tale. And China, despite being painted as an authoritarian dystopia, is quietly outperforming in basic human rights like healthcare access. If your system bankrupts people for giving birth, if flying to another country is cheaper than using your local hospital, if people are dying while insured, it's broken. Healthcare is not supposed to be a luxury. It should never be pay to play. And maybe, just maybe, it's time the US looked beyond its borders for answers. Let me know in the comments. Would you fly to China for your next medical appointment if it meant saving thousands? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more honest deep dives into global systems that just make more sense. Stay safe, stay healthy, and remember, you deserve better. Catch you in the next one. Adios, besties.